Hello everyone, today we have new video review and this time we will check on new release from Modelcollect. As you can see, of course, it's a 72nd scale kit and this time it copies FAL-1 missile on E75 body. We have this nice box art on the front. It's quite a typical box for Modelcollect. Here you can see comparison with my hand. It's not that big, but it's full as you can see, and you can hear that some parts are free there. And here we have some information about manufacturer. On the other side we have some safety advices in 6 languages. So that's a top opening box. And here's what we have inside. So as you can see, some sprues are packed into the plastic bag and some are not, because these sprues are new. And those which are sealed into the plastic bag, they are typical for E75 kits. That's why they are separated into its own or their own plastic bag, and they usually come like this in different E75 kits from Modelcollect. We're gonna start with this sprue. This one is dedicated to engine parts. As you remember, all German tanks from Modelcollect in 1/72nd scale, they include detailed engine, and it will be up to you if you want to expose it or you want to assemble tank without any internals at all. Then we have 2 absolutely identical frames. Those are dedicated to suspension parts. I will show you only one, of course, because they carry identical parts. And here we have road wheels, drive sprocket which should be assembled out of 2 halves. Then here is the exhaust and exhaust cover and some external elements which should be placed on the tank. Molding quality is really nice, but some attachment points, like for example these, are quite tricky, so take your time and carefully separate them off the frame. Those 2 sprues are actually quite huge advantage of this kit. These are plastic tracks in 1/72nd scale kit, and they should be easier to assemble, easier to paint, and of course easier to weather, so that's a definite advantage for this kit. And they're like obviously better than typical vinyl parts which we are used to see in small tanks. Then this small frame is dedicated to rear armor wall and this counterbalance for the main gun, which will be placed inside the turret. And last sprue out of the plastic bag is dedicated to external elements. Here we have engine bay cover, also side skirts which are molded as one-piece parts. Here we have one-piece towing cables and some external tools or Pioneer tools, and here they can be found as well. So this is a quite big sprue. But next we have those which are not packed into any plastic bag, and just give me a second, I will show you the first one. Here it is. This one is dedicated to top hull part. Of course, engine bay cover is molded separately as we saw, so you can open it on your tank. Those are turret parts. Again, we have separate hatches, and periscopes are replicated with those throughout holes. And note that rear wall is also present here. Next we have bottom hull part. This one is molded as a tub-like part. Of course, we'll have to add the rear armor wall together with suspension elements here, but otherwise it should make assembly easier, because you won't have to combine all those separate panels together and try to get a nice fitment of them together. And last 3 sprues are actually dedicated to FAL-1, let's say, missile. So here you can see the first one. If you saw the review of the separate set with the same missile, those frames should be familiar to you. We have 2 separate halves which are molded together with wings and tail wings, and it should be a bit tricky to assemble them because there are a few position points inside on the wings, and tail wings will serve with the guiding elements, but that's pretty much all. I mean, fuselage halves will have to be aligned somehow, and of course you will have to be careful in order to avoid possible gaps. The same can be said about engine halves, as you can see them here, and some other elements which are also divided into several halves. Next we have special frame with some, let's say, stand parts. As you can see, all 4 legs are pre-molded, so you won't have to attach them separately as on other kits. And here you can see the missile itself, which should be assembled out of 2 halves. And then we have this special station, which will have to be placed instead of the tank turret. And as you can see, it should be quite detailed. We even have here some wooden panels, which should be looking good in 70-second scale. Then we have small plastic bag. This one is dedicated to tiny accessories which are typical for Modelcollect tanks. We have here usual German decal sheet, and also here we have small unpainted PE thread, which should be useful for external detailing. I will zoom in so that you can see them both. Decal sheets should come handy for external detailing. As you can see, we have full number registry here, so I guess you would be able to replicate something different from what is shown here in marking guide in assembly manual. And as for the assembly manual, here it is. It is a typical Modelcollect brochure. We have short history note on the first page, then some safety advices, of course. Parts map is here. Assembly process starts with missile. Then we continue with launching station. Then we continue with top hull part, suspension parts, lower hull part. Connect all those parts together, and in total you will have to perform 17 steps. And here we have two marking guides which were developed in cooperation with Amomic, and as you can see they're quite nice, but of course nobody stops you from choosing something else. So that's all for this video review. I hope you enjoyed it. As usual, for detailed photos, go in the video description below. There should be a link for the review article, so just click it. And if you want to help us, just press the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can get all fresh video reviews on time. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video review as usual. Bye!